Welcome back, everyone, to our Let's Play series of Motorsport Manager. Now, for me, this is a huge video, and the reason being is because we are entering into our final race of the season and our final race in Tier 2. Because if we take a look at the driver standings, we are first and second right now, or at least tied for second. Team standings, we are well out ahead. They have no way of catching us in any way possible, regardless of what happens in this final race. But this final race is also huge because I've mentioned in previous videos because our sponsor that we're going to be choosing is $1.4 million total between qualifying and the race. But because this is a United States race, we're going to get a 4 times bonus on that, which is, that's almost unfathomable to think about that large of a bonus. So you better believe that I'm going to be on my P's and Q's both in qualifying and during the race. So, that's little over $5.5 million, $5.6 million that we stand to make in that one race alone. With that in mind, we have $8.7 million and we have 2 huge paydays that we have coming up potentially. One, of course, would be our final race in Phoenix. The second is going to be the championship money at the end of the season. With that in mind, let's go ahead and put that $8.7 million to good use. And if we take a look at upgrading buildings, you notice the telemetry center. If we take a look here, we're already level 2 of 3. So if we upgrade it one more time, then that's only $8 million. I say only because it's the cheapest thing on here aside from the forecasting center. If you take a look at new buildings, we could build the scouting facility, which we'll eventually do, I'm sure, in the staff center. But as far as affecting the performance of our car, everything else, in some cases, is well ahead of that in expense. So I'm going to go ahead and upgrade this and let it get started. Now, you might say, okay, why is this such a huge deal? Yeah, it's going to cost us more per race. It's going to take 19 weeks and all that kind of stuff. But it gives us access to legendary parts as well as smoothness and consistency increases for a driver. Now, both of these are huge for me, but smoothness I think really helps out with the tire wear, reducing the tire wear for a driver. So we're going to go ahead and get this started. If you'll remember my plan has been to focus on at least one part and try to make that one part as good as you can possibly make it. And then if we take a look at our car, that's what we've done with the gearbox here, and it has paid out tremendously because overall our car is below average. But what we do is we focus on certain tracks and try to excel there by giving ourselves the best chance of winning there. And then over time, we've managed to increase other things to the point that now we have an excellent chance of winning each time. But if you take a look at our drivers, they're just a touch above average. We're 7th overall on the grid in drivers. So it's not like we're dominating on drivers the way we were in the bottom tier, where we were up here with the best drivers. So things are looking great. Now, if you say, okay, well, what does that give you access to with the legendary parts? Well, if we come in, take a look at the gearbox. Now, all of these things are different each year. So let's don't, get mixed up there. These are always different. These are not the same. But if you take a look down here at legendary, which right now is locked, but if you take a look down here, plus 65 on acceleration and minus 20 on the red zone. So you get the best of both worlds there. Now, is it costly? Of course it is. But then you look here, acceleration plus 50, reliability also plus 50. Again, this is huge. And then finally, you get an option for acceleration plus 40 to the max, red zone minus 15%. All of these, I want all of these at the same time. Now, we can't get those, but then look at this one at the very end, risk level minus 3. That comes from our designer. This final column here is designer bonuses. Okay, so we get risk level minus 3. And what that means is that we can choose 3 of these and then also choose this one, which is free too. It doesn't cost us the money the way this one does. And because of that, we will instantly go back down to no risk of rule break. That alone was worth it to me, because that means we're going to have the best opportunity for gearboxes. Now, remember, we're having Phoenix coming up and the end of the year money. So I'm expecting to do at least one more upgrade. And right now I'm looking at the test track for engine performance, but we'll see how it goes. But you can see what happens whenever you do these with the risk on there. You get extra reliability and extra performance there. Tremendous amount of extra performance there. You get great performance there, and then performance and extra reliability there as well. So whenever you get additional risk, by the time you get up to being able to make this component, the legendary component, it will be amazing. So with that being said, let's back out of there, because obviously we don't need to make any parts right now. Now, as far as sponsors go, we got one empty slot left to fill there. And car condition, both at 42%. Again, I didn't have the nursing bonus there. Okay, let's go ahead and do our interview, which of course is, all right, he is an immensely talented driver. I actually chose that one just to see if it would increase his morale, and it doesn't. So, all right, and let's see, he only managed fourth. Man, what a disappointing day. So, not worried about that. I'm sure he will bounce back and get on the podium soon. As you can see, his morale is already maxed out there. All right, so with this underway, we've got our new building, which is going to take 19 weeks, which actually should be done before our first race of next season, I believe. Not that it's going to matter, because it'll take several iterations, even if that's all we worked on in our design. But it's always good to know that you can get things completed as soon as possible. All right, we've got one sponsorship offer there. We don't have anything that we're working on in the factory right now. We've got some more scouting reports that are coming in. Let's see what we've got. Sponsors, still only 2 there. Or maybe that's an additional 2. Nope, still just 2. All right, so we'll let that ride a little bit longer here. All right, there we go. Now we got our 3. Let's go ahead and get these emails taken care of. And let's have a look at our sponsors. All right, this one's going to be pretty easy. 200,000 here, only 750 there. So not even quite 200,000 per race on average there. But then over here, the average per race here is much larger. So we'll go ahead and accept this offer for the upfront money. All right, and if we come in and take a look at our finances, this will put us back, because there's no amount of money given to us per race, we'll be down to 514,000 losing per race, and that's where we will start. All right, so with that in mind, I believe that is all we have on the agenda. So I'll see you guys at the racetrack. We are back after what I can only call a very disappointing qualifying session. We were not able to get the huge bonus of 2.8 million for the qualifying session. So now we got to get the 2.8 million for the race bonus. We didn't miss it by a whole lot, but again, this being an oval, the difference in speed between the cars is so small. We were less than 3/10, I believe, off the pole. So we'll have to focus on the race, where we have full 15% bonuses for race trim and the soft tires. Now, I'm going at this a little bit different. I'm going to go with this as a 2-stop strategy rather than a 1-stop. And what I'm going to try to do is get the quickest tires on the quickest car with the quickest bonuses and win it that way. We'll see how it goes. So setup's pretty good. We're at 95%. Our tire choices, I mean, I went out 3 times to try to get in to the top couple of spots in qualifying. Did not work out, but we do have 3 sets of tires left, and we're going to put 13 laps of fuel in, which the 13 really doesn't amount to 13. It amounts to about 9 laps of fuel, because we're going to need to do this in 9, 9, and 8 as far as our stints go in order to get to the end. So this is about what we need to get started. You can see Sergio, 18th position is all he could get, which was very surprising to me. None of this was exactly how I had hoped. There was no rain, anything like that, to mess up anything. So 95% for Rodriguez as well. He was in 6th, but again, he wasn't very far off the pole. Once again, 3 sets of soft tires and the same 13 of fuel. All right, we'll go ahead and confirm that. And let's go ahead and get this race started. So let's see if we can make up for, in the race, the speed that we did not have in qualifying. All right, here we go. Let's get our camera ready to go. And we're going to start off the race by having both guys push, although we're not going to be able to push the entire time because we do need these tires to last a good while. Okay, let's go ahead and swap up to Rodriguez, who has moved up to the 5th position and is now moved up into 4th. I like that a lot. Ooh, challenging for 3rd. Yeah, let's continue that. Holy cow, now he's up to 2nd. And you can see Sergio is now up to 9th. Okay, so tire temps are coming up to where we need them. I'm going to back off again. I need these tires to last. If you look around us, all the leaders have on the soft tires, so it's not like we're mismatched as far as tires go. All right, so let's see what we can do with the leader. It'd be great if we could pull out to the lead and then pull out even farther than that as time goes on. All right, again, just watching the AI, for one thing, for whatever reason, they don't use the actual banking here. So that's a bit odd to me, and something I'm not sure why the game does it. I'm sure there's a reason for it. All right, so now we're running 2nd and 8th, and we're right here with the leader. So this is where we need to be. Remember, we're going to try to run 9, 9, and 8 for our stint distances. All right, now we got the virtual safety car comes out just as we were attempting to take the lead. All right, there we go. So we take the lead, and let's see what we can do as far as pulling out ahead. Now Sergio has moved up to 4th. All right, so now here we go. How are we going to play this? These guys are close enough together that I don't think we can get in. In fact, I'm pretty sure we can't get in and out on the same lap. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and pit Sergio first. So let's go ahead and pit him after 8 laps. So we'll pit him next time by. And we'll put on the new tires. And once again, we will go with 13 on the fuel. Pit strategy will go as fast as we can. Okay, there we go. And we'll swap back over to Rodriguez. And he will finish one more lap. I would love to finish these guys or bring them both in after running 9 laps on the first stint, but I just don't see that as being possible due to backing these guys up in the pits. Okay, once again, same thing here. We're going to go ahead and run this up to 13. Now we're going to get a little bit over 13, which is perfectly fine. Anything we have extra right now will just be less we'll need to take on the final pit stop. All right, so now we are in the middle of Sergio's pit stop. Let's see, refueling, going great, or not great, but good on both counts. All right, now we've got him out of there just in time for Rodriguez to come in. And let's see what Rodriguez can do. Let's go ahead and have Sergio push. We're going to do the same thing here with Rodriguez as he comes out. And let's see where he comes out. Okay, he's going to come out in, first. He's going to hold the lead. Looks like he was going to drop to 2nd, but he does, in fact, hold the lead. Now, that is important because it should give him the ability, as we're going to back off now that I see the tire temps are there. Let's go ahead and back off that so we don't overheat the tires too much. Again, we need these things to last, and they were at about 30% remaining tire wear when we brought them in last time, which isn't terrible, but at the same time, it's not where we want to be. Now, Sergio is moving in on second. Looks like he has made the pass. Can he hold it? Yes. You can see on the grid here, the mini map, that he was able to hold that. So now our race pace is exactly where I thought it would be. So now we're just going to need to pay close attention, and we're going to need to come in around lap 18 to begin our fuel. 17 to 18. If we come in on lap 17, that means 9 laps in the final stint for Sergio, which is perfectly fine. All right, and of course he is worried about fuel, which is to be expected. All right, now it looks like everybody else is on medium tires, or at least most of the other cars, so they're going to go, that may have been their only pit stop. That's hard to believe given where most of them pitted from, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah, and as close as they're staying to us, I find that hard to believe. Okay, so now we've got, you can see the tire wear for Sergio is very low. We're going to go ahead and bring him in this next time by, put on his final set of tires. You can see he's going to have 9 laps remaining there, which means we need, okay, 12.8 should be perfectly fine for that. Parts look great, and we're going to do our best to get him out in 12 seconds or less. Okay, we'll swap back over to Rodriguez since he is leading. All right, now we've got Rodriguez in. You can see some other cars starting to pit as well. We'll go ahead and bring him in for his final stop. And fuel options, he needs, this is his final stint. He's gone 9 in 9 laps, so he'll need roughly 11. There we go. Okay, maybe a little bit more than he needs there, but I'd rather be safe than sorry. All the parts look great. All right, so let's see what we can do here. As Rodriguez will be coming in. Again, I'm trying to take as good a care of these tires as I can. And we've had plenty of speed. All right, looks like all the leaders are coming in with me. So that should mean that we are able to hold on to our gap. Okay, neither car is really pushing hard on the tires, so that is exactly what we were looking for, but we are pushing the engine. Okay, so now we are running first and second. Well, Sergio just lost second position, it looks like there. And wow, they're pulling away from him. So second position is on their way. You can see they are gaining on us fast and furiously. Wow. So they are really using those new tires. Okay, so now 5.3, 5.2 second lead that we have. So they're coming after us. And quite frankly, this is about as much as I can push it. You know, I can't push the engine any harder for sure. All right, now it looks like they are falling back. Looks like they have, yep, they are trying to, you can see, yeah, they're really trying to maintain here. So apparently they were running extremely hard, but didn't have enough fuel to maintain that pace. So they took a lighter fuel load, it looks like. Okay, so now we're down to 2 laps remaining. Absolutely no reason whatsoever for me not to push. And let's see, but I don't want to go too hard here because remember, Sergio is in line to get in second in the driver's standings if he can come away with a great finish here. And third position would be pretty good. All right, yeah, he's not going to be able to catch anybody, but the good news is we have a nice commanding lead of 6 seconds for Rodriguez. And yes, he will do it. Let's move back over to to Sergio as he finishes up. So he will come home with a strong third place finish. And that is a great way for us to finish our career in the Tier 2 series. We come home with 2 spots out of the 3 on the podium, first and third. We will definitely take that. So with that in mind, let's see what our final numbers look like. So it looks like everybody did a 2-stop strategy here with maybe a few 3-stoppers mixed in there as well. We'll move on to the scrutineering, which of course is no issue at all for us. All right, so the results, looks like the fastest lap bonus goes there. And unfortunately, our pole position crashed out. So the 2 points won't do them much good there. Okay, so let's look at our final point tallies. For the driver championship, we come home first and second. You can see Sergio just eked out by 1 point over the team from BOA. And then, of course, in the team championship, we easily brought this home by 75 points. So a great finish to a great season. I mean, that is huge. I don't remember how much we ended up winning the Tier 3 series by a couple of series ago, but this was very dominating for the season. Let's go through the final screens and see what we've got. I wouldn't expect anything less than, okay, now we're up to 100 and 100, and it's hard to imagine not being at 100% for Rafael, given the fact that in this case, this is not only a race victory, but also a championship for him. All right, so we move on. Marketability is now at 100% for us. Wow. And the chairman happiness is at 100%. That is huge. We get not quite the bonus we were looking for, since other teams, the only thing I can think of is the other teams must have specialized in practice and focused on qualifying trim rather than race trim as we did. That's the only thing I can figure, but still a nice bonus of nearly 2.2 million, giving us over 5 million there. You can see the World Championship. Don't worry, guys, we're on our way. But it's hard to imagine a much better finish than this in our final season in Tier 2, as we come home first and second in the driver standings and have a huge, huge lead in the team championship as well. Thank you very much for joining me in our final Tier 2 series race, and stay tuned for more Motorsport Manager.